Welcome to the adventure quiz for the Youth Adventure Trust. Give me a like if you can see and hear me okay, please, so then I can just confirm that I am properly live and that people are able to tune in. Yes, they are. Excellent. Okay, I'm just going to give this until 10 past probably, until I properly start the actual quiz, and wait until a few people come online. This is the adventure quiz for the Youth Adventure Trust. If you've just tuned in, give me a like if you can see and hear me all right. Right, I'm just going to... Right, cool. Comments are starting to come in. Excellent. I am really proud to be an ambassador for the Youth Adventure Trust, and I'm hosting tonight's quiz to help raise funds for this amazing charity. I'm asking if that's all right for you guys for a suggested donation of £5 to take part tonight, and all funds will go towards supporting vulnerable teenagers through the COVID-19 pandemic. If you don't have any money, do not worry. You can enter the quiz for free, but that is just a donation if you fancy it. Please click on the link in the comments to make your donation, and it will make a huge difference to the kids who are finding lockdown really, really tough at the moment. Just to give you a little bit of background to the Youth Adventure Trust, it helps 11 to 16-year-olds who are facing all sorts of challenges. The charity normally takes them on outdoors adventures to build resilience and self-confidence and to learn new skills like teamwork and communication. With the country in lockdown, however, they've had to adapt, obviously, like everyone, really quickly, and so they can't run their outdoor adventure sessions. So instead, they're providing one-to-one virtual mentoring sessions to the people who are on their programme instead. It costs £65 a fortnight to support each young person, and I'd love to be able to help at least 10 young people tonight by doing this quiz. So if you don't mind donating, that would be ace. Again, before we start the questions, a little bit of housekeeping on my behalf. My name's Ed Stafford, for those of you who didn't get the beginning of this. And this is the adventure quiz for the Youth Adventure Trust. It's not hosted on the Youth Adventure Trust's own page because, well, let's not mince words, they've only got about 350 followers. And so we deemed it to be a better move to host it on my site. So that's why you're getting a sort of charity gig through my page, but I am more than happy to host it. I am very proud to be an ambassador of the Youth Adventure Trust. So quickly, a little bit of housekeeping. How is tonight going to work? There will be 4 rounds of questions on all things adventure. A true or false round, a picture round, a multiple choice round, and a round of questions submitted by my fellow Youth Adventure Trust ambassadors. Hello to Al Humphreys, Martin Hartley, Sarah Uten, and John Gupta. The Youth Adventure Trust team are here tonight too, so don't worry if you miss a question. They'll be posting the questions in the comments after each round. After each round, there'll be a chance to ask me questions about my adventures too, while we kill time before the next round. Post your question in the comments and I'll read out the answers to the best ones. We'll take a quick break halfway through for 5 minutes so you can grab yourself another beer, get yourself more nibbles, and after the 4 rounds, we will run through, obviously, all the answers like a pub quiz. Probably most of you have done a pub quiz before. Although there's quite a lot of Portuguese people tuning in already. No, that's Brazil, isn't it? Hello, everyone in Brazil. I like Brazil. Brazil's a good place. Okay. We also have a bonus Bushcraft round with prizes. You will need to go to the Youth Adventure Trust website to enter this one at the end, and you have until lunchtime tomorrow to take part, but more details on that later. I'd also love to see your team names in the comments. If you can get in an adventure pun in the comments, then amazing, but keep them clean, please, because this is a family quiz. Do you have your pens and paper handy, and have you got drinks and snacks, because we are about to begin. There's a lot of comments coming in, but I'm going to ignore you all for the moment because it is the beginning of round 1, which is the true or false round. Okay, true or false? The Eiger is taller than the Matterhorn. The Eiger is taller than the Matterhorn. True or false? Little discussion. It's pretty simple because it's true or false. It's not really that much discussing. Just guess if you haven't got a clue. Question 2. True or false? Again, I'm going to say that before every question because it's the true or false round. The Brecon Beacons National Park is larger than the Peak District National Park. For you hill walkers out there, the Brecon Beacons National Park is larger than the Peak District. Could that be true? Or maybe it's false. Crikey, there's people from Rome, people from Turkey messaging, people from Colombia, people from Italy, people from Zimbabwe. This is extraordinary. Okay. Anyone who's just turned in, we are now on question 3 of the true or false round. Question 3 is, Mount Etna is the oldest active volcano on Earth. True or false? Mount Etna is the oldest active volcano on Earth. You know your geography, your plate tectonics. Okay, moving on. Question 4. In the British Isles, the smallest island with an area of 1 kilometre squared or larger is, excuse me for the pronunciation, Bryher. 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 Found in the Isles of Sicily. True? Sicily. Probably not Sicily, Stafford, is it? In the Isles of Scilly. True or false? Let me read that one again because I ballsed it up. True or false? The British Isles, in the British Isles, the smallest island with an area of 1 kilometre squared or larger, it's a random question, isn't it, is Bryher. Bryher, found in the Isles of Scilly. I almost said Sicily again. That was question 4. Okay, question 5. Cheryl Strayed, the American novelist whose memoirs were turned into a film, hiked the Appalachian Trail. True or false? Cheryl Strayed, the American novelist whose memoirs were turned into a film, hiked the Appalachian Trail. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, that is the end of round 1. Remember, there's going to be 5 questions in each round, so 20 questions in total, because I didn't want this to drag on forever. I'll read out the answers at the end of the quiz. If anyone's missed a question, the Youth Adventure Trust team will post it in the comments now. Okay, we've got a few minutes now for me to answer any questions that anybody has got about my own adventure, so pop your questions in the comments below before we start round 2. While you're doing that, I want to share some feedback from one of the Youth Adventure Trust mums about the difference she's seen in her son. She says, the video call mentoring helps Ben to reset his emotions and start afresh when he's feeling uptight about the lockdown. Ben is 13, struggles to control his temper and doesn't have a positive male role model in his life. The Youth Adventure Trust are working with him to help manage his emotions and make positive life choices. Tonight's quiz is of course free for anyone to join, but if you're inspired, please do donate £5 and the link is in the comments below, and more if you can, obviously. If you are Bill Gates and you're tuning into my pub quiz, I would be very surprised, but if you give £5 and you're Bill Gates, I will be quite annoyed. But you do give a lot to charity anyway, so that's good. You'll be helping young people like Ben. So to your questions, right. Right, let's have a look. Nick Noon said, where is your He-Man from when we were kids? Nick Noon is actually a mate from school, so that's a little bit embarrassing. Okay, we have a first question coming here. What's more important, learning set skills and techniques or being creative and adaptive? I think that was a leading question, but I've always been up for, this is from Lewis Ames. I came into the bushcraft world, I think it would be fair to say, almost deliberately as a novice. I set myself a challenge after walking the Amazon to strand myself on a desert island for 60 days. And before that, I would definitely not have called myself a survival expert. I was a expedition leader, couldn't light a fire with two sticks, had to learn it all before I did the challenge. And as a result, I do firmly believe that it's about being creative and adaptive and using your noggin. And if you're in a good place and you're calm and you're centered, then you can think through problems and you can work it out. And I think it's more mindset than it is experience and knowledge. And you know, being geeky about bushcraft, I think if you go in with a positive attitude and trust yourself that you're going to get through it, then you probably will. Okay, that was from Lewis Ames. Should we have one more question before we go back to round two? Lots of lovely comments, but they're not questions. What are you afraid of? That's a good one. That's from Fabim. What am I afraid of? Dinner parties, actually. Can't stand them. Social situations more than anything. Put me in the jungle, I'm absolutely fine. Put me out in the bush, I'm fine. Telephone calls, especially if it's an important telephone call and I'm asking somebody for money or something like that, sponsorship or something like that, I shy away from. It's yeah, human interaction more than anything. Being live on Facebook. All right, okay, let's go now to round two. Round two is the ambassadors question round. That sounds really posh, doesn't it? That sounds like it's going to be full of Ferrero Rochers or something like that, but it's not. It's full of Al Humphreys, and Al has couldn't be with us tonight, so he has recorded a couple of questions, and I've got them on my phone, and I will try and play these right now.
Hi everyone, my name's Alice Humphreys. I'm proud to be an ambassador for the Youth Adventure Trust. I hope you like my lockdown new hairstyle and colour, both thanks to my kids. Thank you for all your support for the Youth Adventure Trust. I hope you enjoy the quiz tonight. I have two questions for you. Question one, which polar explorer went on expeditions with Captain Scott, Ernest Shackleton and Douglas Mawson, three of the greats of polar exploration? Question two, which heroic, handsome, talented jungle explorer wrote a brilliant book about the Amazon jungle and his adventures there called Mad White Giants? Hope you all have a very good evening and thank you for supporting the Youth Adventure Trust. Good night.
Right, that was Anna McNuff. No, it wasn't. Who was it? Al Humphreys. He's a comedian, and he's also an ambassador of the Youth Adventure Trust. Let's get on with question three. Question three is from a different ambassador of the Youth Adventure Trust, which is Sarah Ooten. Sarah is also from the East Midlands, home of the brave, and a good friend. What did Sarah say? What was the name of Sarah Ooten's boat on her Indian Ocean row in 2009? What was the name of Sarah Ooten's boat on her Indian Ocean row in 2009? Okay. Question 4 of round 2 is from John Gupta. On a clear day, from the summit of Snowdon, you can see England, Ireland, Scotland, and what other part of the British Isles? Is it a trick question? Question 4 from John Gupta. On a clear day, from the summit of Snowdon, you can see England, Ireland, Scotland, and what other part of the British Isles? Okay. Question 5. This is from the rogue that is Martin Hartley, expedition photographer extraordinaire. Martin Hartley took an unusual item with him to photograph at the South Pole in 2014. What was it? Martin Hartley took an unusual item with him to photograph at the South Pole in 2014. What was it? Okay, that's the end of round 2. Thank you very much to my fellow Youth Adventure Trust ambassadors for those questions. I'll read out the answers at the end, of course, and Youth Adventure Trust team will repeat the questions in the comments now. Fingers crossed. Okay, time for another Q&A with me. Type your questions into the comments now while I tell you about Sophie. Sophie's been spending lockdown at home with her dad, who has mental health issues. Her mum sadly died from a terminal illness a few months into Sophie's first term of secondary school. During lockdown, Sophie had very little support before the Trust mentoring became available. The sessions allow Sophie to continue talking to her program manager for some fun interactions, as well as space to talk about any worries or concerns. During the stressful time, Sophie knows that someone will be checking in with her regularly who can offer activities and ideas for coping strategies. Amazing. If you haven't donated yet and you are able to, then please do follow the link in the comments. Your donations help to make a huge difference to the lives of vulnerable people like Sophie. Okay, so on to questions. Okay, this is from Paul Catterall. Top tip for when you're faced with the unexpected on an expedition. I suppose it depends what the unexpected thing is, Paul, doesn't it, really? I suppose the best thing, I think, is just to have a flexible, free mind, isn't it? If you're faced with the unexpected and you're sticking to some sort of rigid plan and you're all in your head and you're frustrated and you're getting angry or whatever, then clearly you're not going to deal with it very well. But if you are in a light, nice frame of mind and you're in a good place, then I think you just can think on your feet and you can. And actually, what I personally find when you're faced with the unexpected on an expedition, which is quite often actually, is that you thrive on those moments. Expeditions are about monotony. They're about getting up and doing exactly the same thing day after day after day. And in the case of walking the Amazon for 860 days, getting up and putting the same wet pair of boots on. And I think actually when something unexpected happens, even if it's something dangerous, you sort of relish it. And I don't want to sound flippant about risk taking, but suddenly something's happened. You know, if a log cracks underneath you as you're trying to walk across a stream and you fall in, or, you know, if you have a brush with danger, you know, those are the times that actually you just click into this automatic drive of adrenaline and you get through it quite easily and automatically, I would say, Paul. What did you miss most when you walked the Amazon? That's from Marcia Walker. It was a long, dry time for me. So apart from the obvious Guinness, I think it was the simple things in life. It was fish and chips, Guinness, mates, standing in the pub, talking rubbish, being able to speak English. Actually, I spent 2.5 years speaking predominantly Spanish, even though I was in Brazil for a year of the expedition. I was walking with a Peruvian called Joe, and he and I continued to speak Spanish all the way through Brazil as well. So what did I miss most? I think the ability to just not have to translate in my own head, just be able to spiel in my own mother tongue, because my Spanish is still pretty rubbish. Okay, okay, that was 2 nice questions. We are now going to take a break, a 5-minute break. So you've got time to go and top up your drinks, get some more snacks, or go to the loo. If you're enjoying tonight's quiz, now's your chance also to make a donation, and I will also be right back. If you are if you've just joined and you're thinking why is nothing happening on this live, we're on a 5-minute break in the middle of a quiz after round 2, before round 3. We're halfway there. 10 questions to go. That's what's going on. There were loads of questions coming in now. Thank you for all of this. Okay, we're still on the 5-minute break, but I might as well answer a couple of questions if you're still watching this. In First Man Out, what was the toughest terrain to get out of? That's from James Carter. In the season that hasn't come out yet, unless you're in Asia, and I think maybe in Turkey as well it's come out, but season 2 of First Man Out, we're in the high altitude Zoyga marshes in China, and it's the biggest high altitude marshland in the world. And doing a approximately 5-day foot race, survival foot race through a high altitude marsh is a really rubbish idea. It's quite difficult to make it look interesting, but also, just maintaining your own personal administration, staying dry, staying happy, and physically progressing through marshland when you keep sinking up to your chest in bogland. That was pretty horrific, actually. But if you haven't seen First Man Out season 2, that is it's about to hit your screens. Noah, age 7, would like to know if you ever get scared on your marooned missions. Mate, I've never been a stereotypical tough guy at all. I kind of laugh at your stereotypical tough guys at the moment. I think weirdly I'm going through this sort of phase where I find that people who don't show their full depth of emotions, people who sort of hide their fragilities or their vulnerabilities, seem even bizarrely more vulnerable to me. Everyone who's sort of got massive muscles and is trying to show off and prove that they're super tough is obviously presenting a certain aspect of themselves that they want you to think that they are. But personally, I would say that I do get scared a lot, and I think if I didn't get scared, you can call it apprehension, you can call it excitement. Really, sometimes I just rebrand fear as excitement, and then it's the same kind of emotion. Get scared, and someone says, "Are you scared?" And you go, "No, I'm excited. I'm really excited about doing this," and that kind of works. I do that for motivational speaking, actually. But yes, of course, I get scared. Everyone gets scared. If people say they don't get scared, then they're either doing something very, very mundane and not challenging themselves, or they're telling little porcupines to you, I would suggest. Best, that's probably quite a long answer for a 7-year-old. I apologise about that. Best advice. This will be the last question, and then we're going to go back to round 3 of the quiz, because we will have finished our 5-minute break, but I've just been answering a few questions during the break. Best advice that translates from outdoors to normal life, from Joe Shepherd. I think the thing that I ended up doing on expeditions that I actually do in modern day life that has helped me on all fronts, and excuse me if you follow my channels and I've bored you with this before, but it's mindfulness meditation. I meditate, and certainly in the marooned episodes, I would meditate kind of 3 times a day. When I got up in the morning, at about midday, I'd have sit down and meditate, and at the end of the day as well. And I found that everything flowed so much better. I think if you get your mind state right, if you're not all apprehensions and fears and worries and doubts and tying yourself in knots and frustrations, and you're more, okay, I'm cool, I've got this, but you're not sort of giving yourself even positive self-talk. You're coming from a much deeper place, and you're just aware of your thoughts and your emotions, and therefore they do settle a bit. Then I think that is, for me, that is the most important thing, and the biggest lesson that I suppose I've drawn from survival situations into everyday life. Right, ready for round 3. There's some amazing questions coming in, but I will attempt to answer as many as I can. My little boy's crying, but hopefully Laura can sort him out. Welcome back. I hope you're all stocked up with snacks and drinks for the next couple of rounds. Thank you everyone who's donated so far. How much have we? I was meant to get a little message through on WhatsApp as to how much we've had donated so far, but I haven't got one at the moment. Fingers crossed that information will become available as soon as possible, but I will keep you updated. It would be brilliant if we can reach £650 tonight. Doesn't sound much, does it? £650. So keep donating if you can. And on to the second half. It is time for round 3. Round 3 is the Adventure Geography Multiple Choice round. And I did do geography as a degree, and I never thought it would come in handy as a job. I thought it was just because there was more girls on the course. So far, there's only been £130 donated. I mean, that is extraordinary from everyone who has donated. Thank you very much. But can we try and bump that figure up? That would be amazing. If you're taking part in the quiz, then please help Youth Adventure Trust. It is an amazing charity. Okay. Question 1 from round 3. Which of these UK national trails is the shortest in mileage? Is it A, the South West Coast Path, B, the South Downs Way, C, the Cotswold Way, or D, Ridgeway? Okay, I'll repeat the question. Which of these UK national trails is the shortest in mileage? Is it A, South West Coast Path? Is it B, South Downs Way? Is it C, the Cotswold Way? Or is it D, Ridgeway? Question number 2. Junko Tabei is the first woman to achieve what? Right, I think the question is grammatically slightly incorrect. Junko Tabei was the first woman to achieve what? Reach the summit of Mount Everest. B, reach the North Pole solo. C, sail solo around the world. Or D, drive around the world. Okay. Repeat the question. This is question 2, round 3. Junko Tabei was the first woman to achieve what? Reach the summit of Everest. B, reach the North Pole solo. C, sail around the world. Or D, drive around the world. Okay. On an Ordnance Survey map, this is question number 3 of round number 3. What did the letters FB stand for? Is it A, Farm Bridleway? Is it B, Formal Boundary? Is it C, Footbridge? Or is it D, Forest Border? All the map geeks out there. Oh, that's obvious, that is. On an Ordnance Survey map, what do the letters FB stand for? Is it A, Farm Bridleway? Is it B, Formal Boundary? Is it C, Footbridge? Or is it D, Forest Border? Okay. Number 4. In which country is the world's highest waterfall? A, Venezuela, B, Peru, C, Zimbabwe/Zambia, and D, USA/Canada. Question number 4. In which country is the world's highest waterfall? A, Venezuela, B, Peru, C, Zimbabwe, Zambia, D, USA, Canada. In 1969, explorer Ranulph Fiennes led an expedition along the White Nile. What means of transport did he use? Was it A, a dinghy, B, a hovercraft, C, a kayak, or D, a stand-up paddleboard? In 1969, this is question 5, explorer Ranulph Fiennes led an expedition along the White Nile. What means of transport did he use? A, dinghy, B, hovercraft, C, kayak, or D, stand-up paddleboard? Okay, that's the end of round 3. Remember, the Youth Adventure Trust team will post the questions in the comments now, in case you missed any, and I'll read the answers at the end. Okay, time for a bit of another Q&A about my own adventures. Pop your questions in the comments, and whilst you're doing that, I will share a story about... look at this. No, that's a typo. Right. Tonight's quiz is free, but if you're inspired by what the Youth Adventure Trust does, please donate £5 or more if you can. You'll be making a direct impact and helping to inspire young lives. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, so on to your questions. What has been your most challenging adventure so far? That is from Mohammed Barinsi. Mohammed Barinsi. Mohammed Berinsley, I think it's pronounced. Challenging expedition so far. The biggest and the hardest was the Amazon. 2.5 years of walking through the jungle. Probably the most intense and probably the one that left the biggest impact was actually 60 days on Olarua, which was an island which I stranded myself on deliberately for 60 days without any food or water or tools or knife or anything like that, or clothes, bizarrely. Yeah, that was probably the most intense. I think mostly because of the isolation. I think that length of time on your own is an interesting thing. If you haven't got your head completely screwed on, it is a challenging thing to walk through. Okay. Lots of people asking if you will take on Bear Grylls in First Man Out. Yes, of course I will. Bear is a busy man. Bear is a very busy man. Bear is someone that has been extraordinarily successful in my world, really, the adventure survival world, and he's a movie star almost now, isn't he? Let's face it, he's a household name. If Bear has the time free to do an episode of First Man Out, and if we can afford him, then yeah, I'm up for it. Of course I am. It would be amazing. But if you want to do it, or we could raise money for the Scouts or something, that would be a way maybe of tempting him. But yeah, of course I would love to. That would be a dream conclusion to the next series. Actually, that would be amazing. Lots of people asking what's next TV wise. First Man Out, if you haven't seen First Man Out Season 1, it is a survival race where I race against one of the top survival experts in the world through a remote and challenging environment. Season 1 was out last year, Season 2 is out this year, and if you're from Asia, you might have already seen Season 2 because it's just aired in the last month, but the rest of the world will follow very, very shortly. And that is super exciting. First Man Out Season 2. At the moment, like a lot of people, all my work's been cancelled, and so I'm at home with Ran and Laura, and enjoying the silver lining of lockdown, which is more time with family. It's been amazing in that respect, but obviously, like so many people, kind of want things to go back to normal now. You know, both from an economical perspective, from the impact that it's having on everybody's lives. I think everyone is probably feeling very, very similar. You drink some very dodgy water at times. How often have you been taken ill on account of bacteria parasites? That's from David Thompson. I wonder if that is the David who runs the Bushcraft and Survival Skills magazine. I've been ill, mate. The first series of Marooned was 8 episodes long, and I was on antibiotics at the end of every single one from some sort of bug or parasite or another. Used to be a lot. Bizarrely, I don't know. Maybe I've developed a sort of concrete stomach, but less so now. I seem to be able to drink quite a lot and get away with it. But I wouldn't advocate that. Obviously, if you're going on an adventure, purify your water, boil it if possible. Don't drink it straight. That's for survival situations or daft TV programs. Okay. Round 4 is a picture round. Okay, round 4 is a picture round. Let me drag the pictures up. Okay, name the famous locations in these 6 pictures that I'm going to hold up on my phone. Where in the world are they? Okay, this is question 1. Where is, and all you can see is my ring light, isn't it? Never said that to anyone before. Where is that? This is question 1 of the picture round. Where is that? Okay. You either know it or you don't, I suppose, really. Well, third option is you guess. This is question number 2. Where is that? Where is that stunning location? Okay. Oh, I know this one. Where is question number 3? Picture number 3. Where in the world is that? Is he asleep?
No. Getting an apple.
Get an apple. Okay. Question number 4 from the picture round. Where are we here? Can you see that well enough? Laura's looking at it. Do you know where that is, Laura? Do you know how to say it out loud, actually? It's a pub quiz.
And it would be wrong.
It would be wrong.
It would be wrong. I'm not very good at geography.
Little cameo from my wife. Yeah.
I know what that is.
You didn't realise I was live. Okay, and question number 5 of the picture round. Where in the world is... Oh, an easy one at the end. Where in the world is that? This is question number 5 from the picture round. Nice one. It's funny how comments throw you off kilter a little bit. Somebody just called me fat in the comments. And I'm like, I've been doing quite a lot of exercise actually. Thank you very much. In the last few couple of months of lockdown, I've been working out quite a lot, going on lots of runs. So thanks for that, mate. Okay, that's the end of round 4. And that was the final round. The Youth Adventure Trust team will post the images in the comments and I will read the answers at the end. Okay, so we're now going to have a little bit of further Q&A. This is quite complicated, going backwards and forwards between photos and chat. Okay, there's quite a long question here. What is your favourite moment of an expedition? Is it when the plane or boat leaves you alone, in the middle when you have acclimatized to your new environment, or is it the first beer shower when you've arrived back in civilization? Well, that's for Martin Hartley. I reckon I know what your answer to that question is. Do you know what? I think it's the planning, if I'm honest. I think it's the excitement and the planning. Weirdly, that's just kind of addictive thing. Obviously I love expeditions, obviously I love going overseas, obviously I love the challenge and everything like that, but if you were sort of to have to choose one of them, nah, crikey, you'd go on the actual expedition, wouldn't you? You wouldn't just constantly plan these things. But I do love the planning, getting excited about something and thinking, no way, is that possible? Yeah, I love that bit, but I'm obviously quite partial to a cheeky beer as well. And it does taste so much better, doesn't it, at the end of an expedition? Okay, this one. Which survival expert do you respect the most, past or present? Mary Glendenning. Ooh, survival expert that I respect the most? The thing is, so many of the modern day survival experts aren't really survival experts. They really aren't. I mean, you only have to spend a day with an indigenous guy who lives in the jungle and he will, shimmy up a tree in 3 seconds and make a shelter in half the time I can, and, absolutely put me to shame in terms of all of my survival skills. And so, the best survival experts that I've met haven't called themselves survival experts at all. They've just been indigenous people who've worked in that environment, and so I really wouldn't want to, some people have been extremely successful in terms of how they've popularized bushcraft. Ray Mears, for example, obviously, and then latterly Bear Grylls has done an extraordinary job in terms of how they've turned a sort of a genre into entertainment, maybe, certainly in Bear's case. But in terms of the best experts, it's none of the big names. Personally, I don't think. Really, of course, they're not bad. They're really not bad. But it's not. It often less. Let's not generalise. It's often less less instinctive, less natural. It's a learned skill often in childhood and as an adult, rather than just an instinctive ability, I would say. Last question then. If you could relive one moment or day from your epic Amazon journey, what moment or day would that be? It would be the end of, it would be the last day of walking the Amazon. It would be rounding the corner, seeing the Atlantic Ocean stretched out in front of me, shrugging my rucksack off, grinning at Cho, who's my Peruvian expedition partner, legging it down the beach with big grins all over our faces, and then also somewhat ridiculously holding hands with Cho as we ran into the ocean. It was, I was in tears at the end. It was the best day of my life. 2.5 years of walking, and it has changed my life incredibly so. I'm utterly privileged to be able to be here hosting this Youth Adventure Trust quiz, being an ambassador for the charity, having the job that I've got, having the family that I've got, having the opportunities I've got. It does show that adventure is an incredible avenue, not just for self-development and personal development as Youth Adventure Trust use it, but as a career too. I just think it's such a wholesome thing to do because quite often that's linked with helping other people as well. So but it also, you're faced with challenges all the time. It allows you to keep being humbled and keep growing and keep expanding your mind and not getting stagnant and stale. So okay, that is the end. And thank you to everyone for questions. Even Martin Hartley, and I'm surprised that they were that safe. Bonus Bushcraft round. Okay, it is now. The quiz is over. It's now time for a bit more information on the bonus Bushcraft round that I mentioned at the beginning. To take part, you need to go to youthadventuretrust.org.uk/bushcraft. I'll say that again. youthadventuretrust.org.uk/bushcraft. And complete the 4 Bushcraft themed questions. Everyone who takes part will be entered into a free prize draw to win one of 3 annual subscriptions to the fantastic Bushcraft and Survival magazine. If you manage to get all 4 questions right, then you will also be added into a draw to win a family ticket to the Bushcraft show next year. And that's going to be a goodie. I mean, I think a lot of the people who were meant to be doing the Bushcraft show this year, which was me, Ray Mears, a number of other names as well, will be probably there next year as well. It's been obviously a weird year for everyone, but 2021, fingers crossed, everyone will be there and it will be going ahead as normal. But if you want to win a ticket to that, then go to youthadventuretrust.org.uk/bushcraft and get all the 4 questions right to be added into the draw. You have until Monday tomorrow. No, you don't. You have until midday tomorrow to submit your answers, but don't get anywhere just yet, as I'm about to give you the answers for the first 4 rounds. Okay, time for the answers. Remember, you're marking your own answers, but do share your team names and scores in the comments after we've gone through them all. Okay. Round 1, which was the true or false round. Number 1 is false. The Eiger is apparently 3,967 meters. The Matterhorn is 4,478 meters. So 1 was false. 2, false. Brecon Beacons is 1,344 square kilometers, and the Peak District is larger at 1,437 square kilometers. Question 3 was true. Mount Etna is the oldest active volcano on Earth. Question 4 was true. In the British Isles, the smallest island with an area of 1 kilometre or larger is Braya, found in the Isles of Scilly. Question 5 was false. Cheryl hiked the Pacific Crest Trail, the PCT. Okay, round 2. This was Al Humphreys' first question. And the answer was, which polar explorer went on expeditions with Captain Scott, Ernest Shackleton and Douglas Mawson? And the answer was Frank Wild. Round 2, question 2. Al Humphreys' second question about a jungle adventurer who wrote the book Mad White Giant, and the answer was Benedict Allen. I 've got 2 questions. 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 've got 2 ques Okay, question 3. Sarah Uten's boat on her Indian Ocean row in 2009 was, of course, Dippers or Serendipity. Question 4. On a clear day, the summit of Snowdon, you can see England, Ireland, Scotland, and what other part of the British Isles? So let's here the Isle of Man. Yeah. Obviously, I'm thinking Wales, but you know the answer's down there as the Isle of Man. Question 5. Martin Hartley took an unusual item with him to photograph at the South Pole in 2014. What was it? And the answer is the FA Cup. I didn't know that one. Okay, round 3 was the Adventure Geography multiple choice round. Question 1. Which of these UK national trails is the shortest in mileage? The answer was D, Ridgeway, 86 miles. Number 2, Junko Tabei is the first woman to achieve what? And the answer was reach the summit of Everest, A. Question number 3, on an Ordnance Survey map, what do the letters FB stand for? Shoot yourself if you didn't get this correct. Is C, footbridge. Okay, question number 4. In which country is the highest waterfall in the world? And the answer is, of course, A, Venezuela. And question 5. Rand Fines led an expedition along the White Nile. What transport did he use? And the answer was B, hovercraft. Final round. Answers to the final round was the picture round. I thought this was quite a tricky round, actually. Question 1, Rainbow Mountains, Cuzco, Peru. Question 2, picture 2, was Durdle Door, Dorset. Durdle Door, Dorset. Question 3 was the Three Sisters, Blue Mountains, Australia. That was the Blue Mountains, wasn't it? Ah. Question 4. Angkor Wat Temple, Cambodia. I don't know how you pronounce it when a G and a K are together. Angkor Wat Temple, Cambodia. And picture number 5, again, please do not show your face around here again if you got that wrong. Stonehenge, which is obviously in England. Right, how did you all get on? Fingers crossed you did well, and hopefully you just enjoyed it anyway. Let me know your teams and scores out of 20 in the comments below. Anyone with top marks, that would be great to know. Okay. Let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. Yeah, marks coming in, please. Okay, marks are starting to come in. Remember, tonight has been about supporting vulnerable young people through COVID-19. Youth Adventure Trust can't take away all of the challenges that they face, but your donations do allow them to support more young people through the crisis, to help them fulfill their potential. I'm so proud that we're raising money tonight for the charity, and thank you to everybody who has donated. There's still time if you want to make a last-minute donation, and again, the link is in the comments below. Thank you very much to all of the other Youth Adventure Trust ambassadors, Al, Martin, Sarah and John. Thank you for helping out with the questions. That was amazing. Al, you need to sort your hair out. And thank you to everybody who took part in the quiz tonight. I hope you've all had fun. I have, and perhaps see you at another one. Don't forget to go to youthadventuretrust.org.uk/bushcraft to enter the bonus Bushcraft round and win a chance of winning either a subscription to the Bushcraft and Survival Skills magazine or entry to the Bushcraft show. And if you win that one, obviously, and I'm there as well, I will come and find you, and we can hang out for a bit at the Bushcraft show, which will be really, really cool. Okay, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed it tonight, and I hope you had a really good thing. So once you've got your results, put them in the comments below, and then we'll all know who won.